the morning of August 17, 1955, the Chief of Naval Operations Change of Command ceremony took place at the United States Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland. Admiral Robert B. Kearney, Chief of Naval Operations, is the first to arrive at Dahlgren Hall, where the ceremony will take place. The Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable Charles S. Thomas, follows closely behind and is greeted by Admirals Kearney and Boone. Admiral Arleigh A. Burke steps from his car and enters the hall, prepared to assume command of the most powerful Navy in the world. The following scenes are highlights of this important event. The Honorable Charles S. Thomas, Secretary of the Navy, presents the first address. Mr. Thomas.
What I say today is directed primarily to the officers and the men of the great United States fleet. For as you know, this ceremony was originally planned to be held at the Norfolk Naval Base, surrounded by ships of the fleet. It is, however, equally fitting that this ceremony can take place at Annapolis, the cradle of the Navy, amidst the rich traditions of the naval service and recollections of the great naval leaders of the past. This is the first occasion that a Chief of Naval Operations has ever been sworn in outside of an office in Washington. This fact is significant for two reasons. First, it emphasizes the paramount importance of the fleet and the seagoing sailors who man the fleet. Everything which is done ashore is designed to make possible a more potent, more modern, and more versatile Navy at sea. Secondly, it's significant because both of the principals today, Admiral Kearney and Admiral Burke, have distinguished themselves by outstanding service in the fleet as seagoing, fighting men. Our senior naval leaders must always be men of such background and experience as they. Admiral Kearney was one of the principal architects of victory in the Pacific. Speaking personally, he has been one of the finest men with whom I've ever had the privilege of working. His successor, Admiral Burke, who has an equally brilliant career, must seek to match Admiral Kearney's extremely high level of performance, and he must do so during the most provocative and challenging period in the Navy's illustrious history. To Admiral Kearney, I express the Navy's affection, esteem, and gratitude for 43 years of service in behalf of the nation. To Admiral Burke, I would say that the hopes and the aspirations for the Navy of the future are in your hands. Good luck and Godspeed to both of you.
Now Admiral Kearney makes his address.
For me, it all began here, and it's quite fitting that it should end here. 43 years ago, I was in that formation. My rifle was right over here, belonged here in the rack. I had a faint aura of fresh stencil ink about me, and I was beginning to learn my trade.
Admiral Kearney tells of some of the changes he has witnessed in the Navy since his days as a junior officer aboard the battleship Mississippi. He then discloses his warm personal feelings for the Navy.
Organization. And all of this not unmixed with curiosity as to what the future will bring to the fleet. But perhaps most of all, the emotion that I feel is one of confidence. It's confidence in the men who are going to mold and manage that future. When I took the oath of office as Chief of Naval Operations, my first expressed concern was for the men and women in the Navy. And as I relinquished the helm, the thoughts that are uppermost in my mind still concern those people. Now, quite obviously, in this era, we cannot be unmindful of scientific, technological progress and invention. But after all, what are those but the product of human brains and the skilled hands of people?
As a fitting conclusion to his address, Admiral Kearney then salutes the Secretary of the Navy.
civilian head of the Navy, I wish to express my very deep, my very real appreciation of all the things that a long dynasty of civilian secretaries and their helpers have done for the Navy. In war, and also in peace when we're confronted by difficulties. Their understanding of the needs of a fighting service, their championing of the cause of the service, has assured them a secure and honored place in the annals of the Navy. And I salute them. Those of the past, those who are present, and those who are to come. And to you, Admiral Burke, an old friend and a very respected comrade, I turn over the con. She's a sturdy ship, and she's got an experienced, faithful ship's company. You and the country can depend on them in weather and battle. And I also happen to know that they can depend on you. And to the Navy, my grateful thanks for your warm support, your loyalty, and my confident prayers for your future. Thank you.
At the conclusion of his address, full honors are rendered to Admiral Kearney as his personal flag is hauled down. Admiral Burke's flag is then raised to the foremast. Admiral Ira H. Nunn, Judge Advocate General, administers the oath of office to Admiral Burke.
Solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do.
Mr. Secretary, Admiral Kearney, Admiral Boone, ladies and gentlemen, men of the fleet. The strength of any military organization lies in its combat power. The combat power, in turn, as Admiral Kearney has stated, is a sum of two basic elements: its equipment and its people. And so it is with the Navy. The great men of war, now in our fleets, have a long and glorious lineage. Today's ships of the line are worthy successors to those proud old frigates who fought and preserved our country's freedom during many tough wars and in distant waters. It has been ships such as these and their ancestors that have maintained firm control of the seas, that have made it possible for our Navy to be a true and invincible champion of freedom's cause. In all of the campaigns of America's history, our ships have demonstrated a superior fighting quality, and they have done that against all challengers. Sometimes, it should be noted, when the odds seemed almost insurmountable. Our future men of war face even greater challenges. Things will continue to move swiftly around this steadily shrinking globe, now that we are in the atomic and jet propulsion age.
Admiral Burke points out that modern naval warfare, with its atomic-powered ships, guided missiles, rockets, and jet aircraft, is becoming increasingly complex. Technological advances are important, but the men of the Navy will eternally remain the one essential ingredient to successful maritime operations. Following his address, Admiral Burke reads the orders officially designating him as the new Chief of Naval Operations.
To Rear Admiral Arleigh Burke, United States Navy, Commander Destroyer Force, United States Atlantic Fleet. Via the Commander-in-Chief, United States Atlantic Fleet. Subject change of duty. When relieved and when directed by the Commander-in-Chief, Atlantic Fleet in June 1955, you will regard yourself detached from duty as Commander Destroyer Force, Atlantic Fleet, and from such other duty as may have been assigned you. You will proceed to Washington, D.C. and report to the Secretary of the Navy for duty, and for duty as Chief of Naval Operations on such date as the Secretary of the Navy may designate. Signed, J.L. Holloway, Jr. Admiral Carney, I release you. Make out blessing.
Admiral Arleigh A. Burke, Chief of Naval Operations, takes command.